Do you want to know how to talk to a parent about their child's behavior? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education. And in this video, we're talking about how to have those sensitive conversations with parents. It can be difficult to have touchy situations about a child's behavior with their parents. We don't want to offend them, but we want to be productive and be completely honest with them about what's going on. How do we have these touchy behaviors? In this video, we're going to be talking about 8 principles that you can remember to help you craft the perfect type of a dialogue to have with a parent about a child that might be struggling. This channel is all about self-government, about governing yourself and about teaching children to govern themselves. But in the moment when you're talking with another parent, what are you doing there? Well, you have to govern yourself in the conversation so that you come across right and create a good relationship, but also you're helping the parent learn how to properly govern themselves while they're now going to teach their child to govern themselves. Ooh, that sounds complicated, but it doesn't have to be as complicated as it sounds. So let's start by analyzing what you need to do at the beginning of any conversation about a problem that needs to be solved. The first thing is check the relationship, check the connection with the other people. Make sure that you have established a good connection so that they can understand that you're not trying to be mean, that even though you have to talk about something touchy, that you're doing it because you care, because you want what they want, because you're on the same page. So you create this atmosphere of unity. You might say to a parent, hey, can I share something that I've noticed about your child? I want to get your thoughts on it too, and I want to make sure that I can support them and help them to be able to really be happy and successful here, or, those types of statements. Show that you want the parent to help inform you. You're not just telling them what to do in their parenting. Parents do not respond very well to that. And let them know that you just want to share something, maybe just have a little conversation, but you're not passing any judgment, and that the whole reason for this conversation is to be supportive to their child. Another way that you could start this type of a connection at the beginning of a conversation is just express how you feel about the child. You might say, you know what, I really enjoy teaching your child, working with your child. They are so fun. They have so many amazing qualities, and I really admire this thing about them. So you talk about the good, right, first. And then you say, there's something I would love to run past you and just get your thoughts on to make sure that I can really help them the very best. Okay, so now you're saying, your child is so awesome. I care about them so much. I want to even help them do better than they're currently doing. That's basically what you're saying, and this creates a good bond and attachment with the parent at the start of a conversation. The second principle in a good conversation, especially a touchy conversation of this sort, is to acknowledge the parent's intentions, that they're trying their very best. Don't assume the worst of the parent. A really good relationship thing to do is to always assume the best, to give the benefit of the doubt, and your statements should reflect that. So you might say something like, wow, you're really involved in helping your child, or I know how much you care about your child and all of the things that you are doing to work to help them. But there is something that I think might help you even more. Or I have something that I would love to share with you that I think, because of how invested you are with your child's success, that you'll probably appreciate. So this is where you bring them into the problem in the conversation as an expert and as a person that you are trying to help, because you know their heart's in the right place. Now, listen, sometimes their heart might not be in the right place, but the second that you say that you say, I know how much you care about your child, or I see all the things that you do for your child and how invested you are in them and their success and happiness. As soon as you say that, even if it's not true, they're like, oh, I probably should do better at that. I probably should invest more in my child. Do I care enough? Are they seeing something that's really true? Because I haven't felt like I've been caring lately. They start analyzing what's going on inside as you start analyzing what you see or hope to see in them. Principle number 3 is to stay descriptive, not judgmental. So if you've already subscribed to this channel by now, then you know that there are certain ways that I talk about correcting childhood behavior. So when you correct a child, you say, okay, just now, this is what happened, and this is why it wasn't a good thing, and what you should have done was this. When you are talking to a parent about a problem that you have seen with their child, you are essentially doing a correction on them. Do not forget that. It should feel like a safe, connected correction instead of feeling like somebody who is attacking them personally. So starting with a description is also very, very smart. You could say something like, I've noticed that when the whole class is together on the carpet, that your child has a tendency to do this. And I understand why they might do that because, so you're seeking to understand here, but when they do that, this is what happens. So now you're giving a rationale for why this needs to change. You're just telling a little story. You're showing understanding. You are not passing any judgment or putting them in any boxes. Number 4, invite partnership. Before you just go telling them what you know is going to make a difference or what you think is going to make a difference, invite their input. Ask them, so, what do you think would help in this situation? Or, at home, when this type of thing happens, what do you usually do that might help me in this situation? They're the expert of their child. Don't forget that. Bring them in as the expert. Get additional insight. Your idea still may be right on the mark, but check it first with their insight. They might share something with you that you had never considered, which might bring you back to the drawing board or creating a collaboration with this parent to try to come up with another solution for this particular behavior. Bringing them into the conversation more deeply helps them know that in the moment with their child, you are thinking about them and how they would do that. That type of honor of their parental role and authority is good for them, it's good for you, and it's really good for their child. Number 5, share concern with compassion. You really have to care. It should come through. You should maybe say something like, my goal is to support your child, not criticize them. I want to help correct them so that they feel empowered. Because right now it seems like they're struggling a little bit socially, or they're struggling to keep up with whatever we're doing as a class. I would like to be more helpful to them. So showing them that you are concerned, but you're not criticizing, you're not tearing them down, you're not expecting something out of the realm of normal from their child, but you're just trying to create a path forward. Principle number 6, teach self-government principles as part of your solution. So, self-government, solutions. Maybe you're new to teaching self-government and you have a little bit of learning to do. There's a lot of things here on this channel, but there's so much more too on my website that could probably be of benefit to you. There are lots of free resources there as well. So teachingselfgovernment.com could be a place for you to go to learn more about self-government skills and principles. But if you can narrow down your solution to a self-government skill or principle, then it will be universally applicable for the child's life. You will also be able to be very confident that you are not just manipulating a behavior by trying to coerce someone some way or bribe them in some way, but that you are actually truly teaching them a skill that they need for life. So what might you say? You might say something like, I've noticed that your child seems to be struggling with following instructions, especially when they're given to the whole group. It could be that working with them at home as well as here on the skill for following instructions could really work. So there are 5 steps for following an instruction. Your child does really good at looking at the person, but after they look at you, they don't actually do the rest of the steps. And so this is where I think it's falling apart. Maybe they're just not really receiving the information, and we need to figure out how to better get them to receive that. So when you're saying, here's the solution, I've got a skill, it's going to be beneficial for them, this is the exact piece that is missing. So often we bring something up to somebody's parent, and that parent doesn't have any tools for what to use. And hey, you know what? Refer them to this channel. Okay, there's a lot of things here on this channel that could help them. Refer them here to learn about how to follow instructions, how to accept no answers, how to disagree appropriately, how to get calm and regulated. You know, bring them back here so that you don't have to try to be that parent coach for them to that level. Principle number 7, be reassuring. Give them reassuring statements to let them know that you're for sure not judging them, that you know that they can do this. And you might say something like, it can take a little bit of time to learn a new way of communication for you and your child, but you know what? It actually makes everything easier afterward. I'm sure that you can do it. You might say something like, you know what? Don't be hard on yourself, especially if you make a mistake. Just redo it the right way, because training ourselves to have a new habit of communication can actually be kind of rough. It's hard on them, but it's even harder on us because our brains are older, right? So give them a little bit of an excuse to be like, okay, I don't have to be perfect at this. I'm not being judged. I just need to know what I'm doing so that I can know where to correct it along the way. I often tell people, you know what? We don't know what we don't know. So this skill will be a really great opportunity to broaden some of your own parenting skills, as well as helping them to be able to succeed better in the classroom. Principle number 8, frame the behavior as a skill gap. Many parents take their behaviors and the behaviors of their children really personally. They're protective, they should be, it's their family member, it's their child. And so they can take things personally. They might be an emotional person that you're talking to. And if they're a super emotional person, as soon as you bring up something that needs fixing, they might actually take that personally and emotionally, which then means the whole thing just fell flat. And so the way that you phrase what's needed is actually really beneficial. So you could say something like, you know, I don't really see this as much of like a character problem as just a skill gap. There's just a little skill that I think that we can fill in and we can work on that. I just wanted you to know that I was going to be focusing on that skill, following instructions, so that they would have less frustration in classroom. And I just wanted you to be aware so that if they start using it at home too, you'll know what it is. Here's the steps to that skill. So that's a great thing, because now you're just bringing them into it. There's nothing wrong with the child. You don't think there's anything wrong with the child. You're not turning your heart away from the child or judging the child. In fact, you're doing just the opposite. You're reaching out to them and their child and saying, you know what, this kind of thing happens. It doesn't shock me. It's part of my regular job and my life to help you like this, and I have no problem with it. And that should make them feel like they should have no problem with the correction too. Because essentially that's what you're doing. You're correcting them. Now your calmness in all of this is key. And if you know that you do sometimes take behavior personally, that you get emotional, that you don't phrase things just right, it could be that we need to work on our calmness first. So on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, there is a calm parenting toolkit that is for free. In fact, there is a description below this video that has a link to that Calm Parenting Toolkit. And so click on the link to that Calm Parenting Toolkit now, and I'll see you there.